So good morning, and behind me, this is where we're going today. This is an active volcano, Methana, only 30 miles from Athens. So I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a really good day today. Bit of a trek to get here, should be worth it though. In the far distance here, behind Aegina on the left, perhaps you can see Athens, and in front of Aegina we have this landmass. This is the volcano of Methana, and this is only 900,000 years old. Before this volcano erupted, there was nothing here. It's connected, as you can see, by this little spit of land to the Peloponnese, and that's where we're going today. We're going to explore it. There are 32 craters, I should say, there, and it's an active volcano. So I've come across to the most famous crater on this volcano, the Kameno Vuno, and I'm going to climb up there. You can see the path is relatively well marked, but it's actually quite tricky. You have to head for heights, and it's not always clear where to go. So I don't think this one is one for kids, but this is the most famous crater on this volcano. So by the wonders of modern technology, we find ourselves on the top of the Methana volcano, or at least one of the 32 craters it has. But this one's famous because it's historic, and the reason it's historic is simple. If you look here, we have the island of Aegina, and beyond the island of Aegina we have, in the far distance, I don't know if you can see it on the coastline there, Athens. And in 230 BC, this volcano here, where I'm standing, erupted, and it was a magnificent sight, apparently, that drew the crowds from Athens and from other parts of Greece to watch. And basically, all this red lava flowed down 500, 600, 700 metres down there into the sea, creating this new landmass. And that was the last major eruption here on the land. But out in the sea, just behind this tree actually, there's another crater, and that erupted in about 1700. This is still classified as an active volcano, and it's only 30 miles from Athens, as you have seen. And it's a dangerous volcano. There is a magma chamber apparently under here, which is gradually growing. Currently, the estimate is it's 12 stadiums in size. Now, I don't know what a stadium is, but it's obviously quite a large space. And I just want to read you a quote from the Roman geographer and historian Strabo, who watched this in 230 BC, because it defines what happened here. A mountain 7 stadia in height was cast up in consequence of a fiery eruption, and the mountain was unapproachable by day on account of the heat and the smell of sulphur, while at night it shone to a great distance and was so hot that the sea boiled for 5 stadia and was turbid even for 20 stadia, and was heaped up with a massive broken off rocks, no smaller than towers. So right at the top of the path here, on the very peak of this crater, there is this amazing rock formation here, which just is fantastic. And you see the path's clearly marked. It's not easy here. And there's this fissure, and I'm not going to go right into it because it's very deep, but this goes down into the bowels of the volcano. So here we are, coming back down into the crater, and you can see this is otherworldly. I mean, it's amazing, these volcanic rocks. As I said, there are 32 craters here. This is probably the most famous because of the eruption that happened in 230 BC. But there are 32 here, and the volcano of Methana is still active. There are hot springs here. There are old Roman baths. There are Mycenaean settlements. There are Hellenic Acropolis. We'll go and have a look at them, all surrounded by this volcanic landscape, which is unreal. Unusual. And why is it here? Well, there's a ring of volcanoes really going from here down to Santorini and across to Milos. Santorini obviously very famous for its caldera. Here we are ourselves in a caldera in the crater of this volcano. You can see here, I mean, how many people have been in the crater of an active volcano? Here I am in one, in Greece, 30 miles from Athens. It's astonishing. But you have this ring of volcanoes. Aegina, the island across that you've seen in my video. Poros, just south of here, they were volcanoes as well, but they are extinct volcanoes. This one, Methana, still active, 32 craters. We're 570 metres up here. It goes up to about 670, 770 metres, something like that. And as I said, there's a magma chamber underneath. If it goes, it will go in an interesting way, because these are called lava domes, I believe. And these have a habit of collapsing when there's a volcanic eruption or an earthquake. And they collapse down into the caldera, into the volcano. and they cause pyroclastic flows. So the risk is that there's a pyroclastic flow. What's a pyroclastic flow? A rolling fog, if you like, of hot gases and material, 800, 900 degrees centigrade, rolling down the mountainside, consuming anything organic in its path. That's what happened at Pompeii when Vesuvius erupted. It wasn't lava, it was a pyroclastic flow that buried Pompeii and preserved everything in a carbonised state. So we have to hope that if and when this does erupt, and apparently it will erupt at some point, that it's a spectacle for Athens and not a disaster for Athens. Because there is Athens and there is Piraeus. You can see the ships over there. That is Piraeus, 30 miles away from here. So they'll get a good view whatever happens one day. Anyway, I'm going to go back down the volcano now, carefully along this path, and I'm going to show you the Mycenaean settlement. I'm going to show you the hot springs. I'm going to show you the Hellenic settlements, the Acropolis, because there's a lot here. No one ever visits, hardly explored. Not surprising, really. Damn difficult to get to. It's taken me 3 hours and I live close by. So at the foot of the volcano, essentially at the foot of the volcano, on the seaside, we have this quaint settlement called Vathi, and it's believed that this was the original Mycenaean settlement here. Now, it may well have been moved, because rumour has it that there is another village further along the coast here, which was sunken during an earthquake and volcanic eruption once, and they relocated it here. But this is a very ancient settlement. Only 21 people live here permanently, but as you can see, very quaint little harbour, a few little tavernas, a couple of hotels. So if you want to come and explore this place, Vathi is an excellent place to come and start. Now, about a kilometre from here along the seafront, we have an amazing Mycenaean origin Acropolis. So I'm going to drive up there and have a look at it now. In between Vathi and the Acropolis, I just had to stop because the road comes along this most fantastic coastal area. It's just beautiful. I don't know if I can do it justice here. And supposedly the original Vathi is under the water somewhere here. It actually sunk during an earthquake. I'm not entirely sure where. I haven't been able to find out. But this is just a beautiful place with the volcano behind us. We're about 4 kilometres from the original crater at the moment, and we'll continue along. We'll go to the Acropolis now. But it's just beautiful here. So, at the end of the coastal road, you come to what's known as the Palaia Castro. It may not look like much from here, but this is a lava dome. Another volcanic crater, effectively, something that's pushed up from the earth, rock, if you like, that's pushed up from the earth over the millennia. And they built Palaia Castro on top of it. You can see a little bit of it here. It's a 3rd or 4th century Acropolis. When I say 3rd or 4th century, of course, I mean BC. So we're talking about 2,400 years ago they were built something here. And excavations have revealed and demonstrated that they may actually have been in a Mycenaean Acropolis on here. I'm not sure how to get into it. I'm going to go and have a look. Now, the interesting thing is you can see it's constructed from red volcanic rock, but I'm still struggling to find my way in. So we'll see how we go. Well, I seem to be finally getting somewhere. I found this wall, pretty impressive Hellenic wall, I think, and this little path, and there's a gap here in the wall, and I suspect that's where you get in. This is not somewhere that's formally managed, shall we say, so if you come here, watch for snakes. But it's amazing. Look at the colour of the rock, completely different to the pentelic marble that you're so used to seeing in Greece. It's really interesting. I had read that there was quite a large town at the foot of this Acropolis up to medieval times, and you can see it here. You know, the ruins of it, at the very least. I mean, this place has history. And the interesting thing about Methana and the volcano and the archaeology here is there hasn't been much work done here. Look at this. You don't get any idea of this from the road. It's amazing. This is serious Cyclopean architecture. Wow, glad I came up here now. And as I said, there was meant to be a fairly large town around it. And I think it was in this copse here. You can see elements of it. This is very interesting. I wish there was more written about it that I could know. All I can tell you is there was a Mycenaean settlement here. It was then built as an Acropolis in the 3rd or 4th century BC. You can see actually on the top here, there was definitely some sort of temple or something up here. And I love this actually. This is, for me, real Greece because, yeah, you go to Athens or you go to Epidaurus or you go to Corinth and you've got these major city-states. Yes, they were real Greece, but they were the big places of the day. Even somewhere like Methana, a little volcano 30 miles from Athens, you had something here. This was some sort of temple. I don't know what temple, I don't know who to. I'm tempted to say church, but it definitely wasn't a church. It's facing south for starters. You can see there was something up here. I wish I could tell you more about it. I can't. This is why you come and explore. We're up on the lava dome. You can see the road down there. You can see the volcano behind us, 32 craters, and a temple. If I find out who the temple's to, I'll put it in the video down below. Amazing though. I just think it's fabulous. Look at this. Sorry, I'm being a bit heretic now. I'm going to stand on it. Wow. Hasn't changed much, I would imagine, since Mycenaean times. These walls could easily be Mycenaean. In the background, not the ones I'm standing on. These are Hellenic. Village on the hill. Just beautiful. Wonder who this was to. I mean, looking at it now, I think there are 3 layers of defence here. Maybe more. You've obviously got the dome itself. You've got to get up onto that. And then you've got these walls here, which I think were defensive walls. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 even, going down there. I don't know if you can see that or not, if it comes out on the camera. But pretty impressive, pretty fantastic. And then this amazing temple here. I don't know what else to say. It's taking my breath away. I want to say lots. I want to make something of this, and all I can do is let you look at the views. Amazing. I wish I could do this place justice. I apologise. It's very, very difficult to navigate and walk around. I mean, there's another wall down there. I'd love to get down to it. I don't know if you can see it down there. Highly defensive location. Various terraces that you would have to navigate to get up to the top. Anyway, having looked at the Acropolis, we're now going to go back into the car and round the volcano to the other side where there's a town called Methana. Strangely enough, Methana. And we'll stop there, have a look. There are some hot springs there. There's some baths there. A bit of volcanic activity. And just along from it, there's a Mycenaean settlement dating back some 3,500 years or so. So we'll go and have a look at that as well. This place, if you just want to hike, if you want to explore, you need a car. I don't think you can do it without a car, but it's worth it. It's great. Just at the foot of the Acropolis, we've come down this road. I just want to stop because there's this beautiful little church, Byzantine Church. I have no idea how old it is. It's just fabulous, lovely little church, beautiful. Tiny door in there. You have to go down into it. And again, these red rock volcanic walls. Obviously rebuilt, I guess. 10 kilometres round the coast, the other side of the volcano, from Vathi, you come to Methana. And this is a sleepy little seaside town at this time of year. Very popular with the Athenians in the summer because you can get ferries here. I'm not saying regularly, but ferries come here from Piraeus, and they also go to the islands of Hydra and Spetses and Poros and Aegina. So this is quite well connected. It's also relatively easy to get down into the Peloponnese, to go to Nafplio, to go to Epidavros, Corinth, etc. So this is quite popular. And it was very popular up to 1990 because of the baths here, but I'll talk about them in a minute. We'll go and have a look at them. But this place in the summer has lots of hotels, lots of private residences for Athenians, and will not have any foreigners. You just won't get foreigners here. Now, Methana grew in commercial popularity, at least because of the existence of its hot springs. And here, they don't look so glamorous nowadays, but in the 1930s, they built these hot springs here. And the Athenians, right up to 1990 when it closed, would come here to take the baths. And these are hot waters. Now, I can tell you, you can't smell it, but I can smell it. It smells of sulfur dioxide and methane. And it's not especially pleasant. I mean, the water looks an interesting colour. That colour is because of the volcanic activity here and the gases in it. But Methana, methane was named after this place, after this volcano. Okay, many words come from Greek, but methane, the gas methane, the one that we all hate so much because of global warming, and that this place just exudes, literally, because I can smell it, was named here. Not necessarily in these baths, but because of this volcano in ancient times. I wanted to mention the beach here because, as well as being lovely, you'll see they're black, just like the volcanic beaches of Santorini. The similarities here are amazing, actually. But we're now going to go down to the end of this promontory, round the promontory and up, actually, and we're going to look at what's labelled Mycenaean settlement and see what all that's about. So, as is often the case with ancient sites in Greece, we find that the Greek church has placed a church right in the middle of it, if anything to assert their dominance, I suppose, as religion in past times. But this is listed as a Mycenaean settlement on the map, and I have to tell you, it's the most exciting place I've ever been to, I think. I feel absolutely amazed at this place. This is not a Mycenaean settlement. This is a Mycenaean Acropolis. This is just fantastic. It doesn't take a genius to walk around here and see this is a very large, uninvestigated, unexcavated Mycenaean village. And look at these walls. This was an acropolis. This was not a Mycenaean settlement. This was something dominant in this region. Now this, to put it in perspective, could be 1400 BC, 1500 BC even, 3,500 years ago. Now I think it was about 1620 BC that Santorini erupted, and there was a tsunami that destroyed all the seaside villages around this coastline, including Methana. And I just wonder if, because this is up, you can see we're above the sea here, whether after that devastating event, the remaining population came up here and built this Acropolis as protection. The other interesting thing was that they then stopped worshipping female gods and they started worshipping the male gods, in particular Poseidon. So I wonder if where the church is or at this site there was a temple to Poseidon, because of course they were terrified of the sea. They felt that Poseidon had been angered in some way, hence the tsunamis that occurred, and they built and worshipped Poseidon, and he became one of the major Greek gods as a result of the eruption of Santorini. But this place, I cannot stress how astonishing I find this place. Time Team, if anyone knows Time Team, Tony Robinson, eat your heart out, you should come here. This is just amazing. The archaeology is everywhere. There are earthworks, half of it hasn't even been exposed. You look at the landscape here, you can see there are lumps and bumps, there's grass growing over it. I have no idea what's here, I have no idea. Well, I've been some places in the past. I've been all over Greece, the Peloponnese, looking at things. This is so obviously an acropolis. It's enigmatic of one. It's got walls surrounding it, it's got a town in the middle, but it's not an acropolis from the Hellenic times. It's an acropolis from the Mycenaean times, and someone needs to come and look at this and do something with it, because it's frankly astonishing. I'd love to know more about it. But this is the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed my look at the Methana volcano and what it entails and what it has around it. It's astonishing. No one comes here. No one comes here, which is a shame really, because there's so much here. There is more that I haven't shown you. There's another acropolis apart from this one and the one we've already seen. There are some Roman baths, but there's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can fit into a video. There's only so much that you will rightly watch. This is probably already too long. So I hope you've enjoyed. Watch some of my other videos. I love exploring Greece. But I've never been anywhere like this. This place. I mean, these walls. I thought they were ordinary farm walls. They're not. They are walls of the Acropolis. Just astonishing. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. And I look forward to you watching some of my other videos. Thank you very much.